So let me close this morning by asking you two questions. What does this world say about Jesus? What does this world right now say about Jesus? The unbelieving multitudes, the unbelieving crowds. What do they say about him? Some say he never existed. Some say if he did exist, what we have in the Bible is an exaggeration of who he was, a mythical tale of who he was. Some say that the Bible gives a fair representation of who he was, but it also gives the disciples misunderstanding of who he was. And perhaps even Christ's own misunderstanding of who he was. Some say he was a good man. Some say he was a prophet. Some even say he was a deceiver. But I want to ask you something. Who do you say he was? Who do you say he is? And as I ask that, there are two groups in this room that I address that question to. I address it to people like Peter, believers, that right now you would stand up in this room and you would say to me, I know who he is. He is the Christ of God. I have a question for you. Does your life look like you believe that? Listen, folks, if he's the Christ of God and we are the people who believe that, what manner of people should we be? How should our lives be lived? We know he's the Christ of God, and there's a world around us dying. You know he's the Christ of God? How do you never tell your neighbor? How do you never tell that person just one workstation away from you? How do you not fill this city with your doctrine if you know he's the Christ? And so before you stand and say with your lips, he's the Christ of God, I want to ask you, do you believe in your heart that he's the Christ of God? And does your life say you know he's the Christ of God? And then to anyone in this room who has yet to confess him from your heart as the Christ of God, would you believe the light this morning? Would you believe what you've heard today? Would you respond to Christ with a genuine faith that says you are the Son of God who has been raised from the dead, ascended into heaven, alive right now, able to save me forever? I come to you for who you are, and I give you me. I don't deserve you. I'm amazed that you would receive me. But I look to you for the forgiveness of all of my sins based upon what you did for sinners on a cross, there suffering as a substitute for all who would put their faith and trust in you. I come to you. No strings attached, nothing held in reserve. I lose my life to have you. You are the pearl of great price. You are the treasure hidden in the field. You are worth more than life itself. Would you believe? Would you cry out to him? Would you trust in him today?